Finish up with our winners and losers of the week. As always, Ted kicks off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
We got to go with the NFL, the Super Bowl. Big numbers again for the Super Bowl. Uh,
What? I'm
yeah,
shocked.
they hit the peak of 137 million. That was in the second quarter, but an average of 127 million viewers across. You had the most watched Super Bowl halftime show of all time at 133 million. There had been, I think this is the third year in a row, over 100 million viewers. There had been a couple years where that number had really dipped. But the build up to this game for eyeballs, people being interested in the game was really good. We didn't get that kind of game, but it felt like, anyways, a ton of interest leading into it. And results in some pretty good viewership numbers. Now, I will say this. They changed how they tabulate the viewership. It previously had been done off of the top 44 media markets, I think, and I think that represented like 65% of the coverage. Yeah, I don't know. But now the streaming numbers, it kind of throws a whole wrench into the system. So maybe that helped boost the numbers. I don't know. But at first glance, and how could you ever even fact check this? It looks like it was a highly watched Super Bowl.
Yes, a ton of people watched the Super Bowl. That is it. I don't know why people were surprised. Do they think people just turn the Super Bowl off if it's a bad game? People don't actually turn it off. They just start doing things around the house.
Right.
The game is still on. That's where I people are like, "Oh, I can't believe the ratings are so good because with it being such a blowout." What else do you do on Super Bowl Sunday?
You don't turn it off. You may tune it out, but you
Perfect
don't
way of
turn it
putting it.
off. Um, we had some family over. We watched. It's probably, other than when I've watched Super Bowls on my own, it's probably the most dialed in I've been, and we were dialed in for every single snap the whole way through. But we were playing some games and stuff with the kids. But it was, I don't know. I wish we would have had a better game with some drama in the second half. But like I said, it was one of those where it felt like there weren't a whole lot of people that were just not interested in the game. It seemed like it was a very compelling matchup for the masses to enjoy.
Kendrick Lamar is the big winner because whether you loved it or you hated it, everyone's talking about Kendrick Lamar still.
Yeah.
I also saw an article that there are a bunch of people trying to get the bell-bottom jeans he was wearing, which I don't think they would look very good on us, Ted, but there's only one way we find out.
Well,
I'm going to
you
order you some.
okay.
I'm going to send them to your house.
I'm willing to try anything. Now, am I willing to walk outside of the house in them? That's a different question. Could you imagine me wearing some bell-bottom jeans? Come on.
I think you could make it work.
Well,
Like just a hoodie and some bell bottoms, I think you would make it work.
a hoodie, I was thinking like silk shirt and grow the
Ooh.
mustache out.
I was thinking more casual situation, but you're
Uh,
like, oh, he's that guy's just wearing casual clothes. Whoa, bell bottom jeans. Whoa,
yeah,
who's that?
if I'm putting bell-bottom jeans on, it's going to be a thing. Okay, it's not going to be a casual going to the grocery store. It's going to be a thing.
If you're rocking them, it's gonna be loud. We're
That's going
going
to
with
be
a
loud.
loud outfit.
And I'm not a loud guy. I'm not a loud guy. That's funny though.
I really think I'm getting on Amazon after this. There's got to be some cheap bell bottom jeans out there. I can now. I just need to see you in them. That may
They've
sound
tried
weird,
to
but
make they're obviously really big back in the day, all right, in the 70s. There's been a couple of times I feel like they've tried to, when I was in high school, they tried to make a comeback. Didn't really ever catch on. It's happened a couple of times where they've tried to, get back into the rotation, but it never really lasts.
Big with the ladies right now. The flared pants,
Yeah,
all different versions. Just and I think bell bottoms fall in that category. Very popular
very
with the
popular.
ladies, but
Right.
gonna track you down a nice pair. Maybe I'll get you some in white.
Ooh,
Some
okay.
white bell bottoms. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it.
Wow. All right. All right. We'll try. I'll try anything.
You heard it, people. He said he'd try it. Who do you have as your loser of the week?
Well, I had to go with Aaron Rodgers. Um, a part of the reason, at least according to the Jets, for them moving on from him, is the Pat McAfee show appearances. I guess it makes sense. A lot of those appearances tend to be pretty controversial. They're not just, yeah, practice was good and we got a big matchup this week and hopefully we win that and everyone's trying to get healthy. There's some pretty controversial stuff that goes on there. Whenever he makes his appearances, he typically brings some ammunition. Um, I would doubt that has much of a impact on how Aaron Rodgers conducts himself moving forward, but at least according to the Jets, that was part of the reason.
I'm sure that was a factor, but we both know how it works in that league. There is a certain amount that they will put up with based on your production and play. There's an XY axis there.
Yep.
And he just didn't play well. If he This wouldn't even be part of the conversation if he would have looked like the Aaron Rodgers, we're used to.
Yep.
But he looked old and he didn't play well.
He looked old and looked like a guy that's coming off of an Achilles injury that's in his 40s. It's not easy to play the quarterback position in the NFL, and it gets exponentially more difficult the older you get. Whenever you like, he was in his prime, maybe the best we've ever seen at creating, making throws off platform, getting out, creating stuff down the field. He was a threat running the football. He could do it all. When you take that piece away from a player, whether by age or by injury, it changes the whole dynamic of things for him, and it's harder to adapt the older you get.
Do whatever you want during training camp. Go on whatever shows you want. Say whatever you want if you go out there on Sundays and you ball out.
Yep.
No one in that locker room, no one in that building saying a word to you if you're going out there on Sunday, playing at a very high level and slinging that thing.
Yep. Now, it was probably mainly Aaron Rodgers, but it's also the Jets. I mean, the Jets have not been in a good position and really I mean, they've had great defenses. I mean, they've routinely put out some of the best defenses in the league, and that goes back a long ways. But the Jets have struggled on the offensive side of the ball for a long, long time.
It appears the struggles continue.
The struggle continues.
All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It lets you see all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money's going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them, and Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. You get alerts if bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over your budget. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate to lower your bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save, and then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service so you don't have to. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/game on today. That's rocketmoney.com/game on. rocketmoney.com/game on.
And Lucy breakers are 100% pure nicotine pouches with an extra burst of flavor, and you can get them delivered right to your front door. Go to lucy.co and use promo code breakdown at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's lucy.co and use promo code breakdown. 4 milligram mint. That's the go-to.
Okay.
Keep it simple, keep it light. I can't do the eights like you, Ted. I'm not as manly as you are. I'm sorry.
I need to inject it into my veins.
They also have berry citrus, espresso, and mango. But I stick with the mint. But I know some people like more of the flavor. You can even set up a subscription to make things even more convenient for yourself. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co and use promo code breakdown for 20% off your first order. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. My winner of the week, Kellen Moore. Solid couple days for Kellen Moore.
I'd say so.
You call the plays for the Eagles in the blowout. Your quarterback wins Super Bowl MVP. That's got to feel really good if you're the offensive coordinator for that. And a couple days later, you are the head coach of the New Orleans Saints at 36 years old.
Solid.
Pretty good. Pretty good for Kellen Moore. And I was looking at some of the articles about it, and I saw this from ESPN. Since 2019, Kellen Moore's offenses, like the offenses he has called, so that's Dallas, the Chargers, and the Eagles. His offenses are ranked fifth in points per game and yards per game, and his QBs have had a total QBR of 62.1, which also ranks fifth over that period of time. And that's compared to all the other offenses in the NFL. That guy has called some damn good offense, man. That's over that period of time, having that level of consistency that's impressive.
Yeah. And one of the things that I like, when you just look at Philadelphia this year, he is not this is my system, this is what we do. He kind of molds his offenses to the personnel that he has. And Philly became a big, heavy running football team this year because Saquon Barkley changed the dynamics of that team, and he changed with it. And I think all of the best offensive coordinators change their plan, change their style, change their system according to what they've got on the roster. And that's going to be the big challenge for him with New Orleans is how do you tweak that? How do you change that up to get the most out of what you got on roster?
It'll be interesting to see what that quarterback situation looks like for him. That's the key, right? Mm-hmm. And Derek Carr was beat up. Remember, Spencer Rattler started multiple games for him. So I think with the quarterback situation, like, is Carr going to be their guy? I don't know, but I expect Kellen Moore to be able to get the most out of whoever their guy is. Maybe they'll go draft somebody. I don't know.
They got the number 9 pick. I don't know what's going to be available at quarterback there. I mean, is there a situation where perhaps they try to trade up to get a quarterback? I don't know. Ultimately, whenever you look at that, the QBR for his quarterbacks has averaged fifth in the NFL since 2019. I mean, that's going to be a big part of it. It's going to be hard to have a good offense if you don't have a quarterback that's capable of doing that for you. But with his system and his tutelage, perhaps. I mean, Carr's Carr's had some really solid years. I mean, if he can stay healthy and they can lock him up, then I think he can be that guy for you. But I don't think Carr's going to be Hurts. I don't think he's going to be a guy that gets you over the hump. Like if the Saints are going to truly be a contender, they're going to have to. I mean, this is the story for everyone in the NFL, right? Like you're going to have to get the guy. There's a reason. Pretty much every year, there's some rare occasions, but usually the quarterbacks in the Super Bowl are some of the top players in the league.
Seems like he's going to get Brandon Staley as his DC. Remember, he was with him in LA. He
Mm-hmm.
was Staley's offensive coordinator for the Chargers. Saints had one of the worst defenses in football. So you got to fix that as well. But I wonder how Cowboys fans feel about this. Because at one point, didn't it feel like Kellen Moore was going to be the next guy in Dallas?
It's kind of felt that way a couple of times,
Right?
if I remember right. And there was some smoke around, and I don't know if this ever came out, if the Cowboys were ever even pursuing that, but the people that cover the Cowboys fans, his name was coming up quite a bit in this go round, and you don't hire him, don't really pursue him all that much. And I don't know, maybe he shut that down on his end. I don't know, but he goes and wins the Super Bowl, and then the Saints hire him. So Dallas fans, big mad right now in all sports, I guess.
Seems that way. Perfect transition into my loser of the week. I feel like I'm just piling on at this point, but it's the Dallas Mavericks again. Ted, if you thought that the Luka Doncic situation, if that trade was just going to be a couple day thing for the organization, incorrect.
Mm,
And not only is it not gone away, it's getting worse. First of all, Anthony Davis, turns out him falling to the ground and grabbing his groin area was actually something serious. Shocker. Going to miss several weeks with an adductor issue.
mm.
Mav's also not given a ton of information on that situation, which I believe is rubbing some people that cover the team the wrong way. Did you see the clip of the new Mavs governor, Patrick Dumont, getting booed by the fans as he walked to his seat at the game?
Getting booed, are we, governor? Yeah, not a shock. And yeah, the brass may be watching the game from a suite from now on.
I believe Nico Harrison has abandoned his normal seat. But I mean, they're booing the owner, and that was before the game. And I believe when he left and came back at halftime, he got the boo treatment as well. So at least you're consistent, Mavs fans. I appreciate that. But that was a game they lost to the Sacramento Kings. And also, Daniel Gafford got hurt in that game, hurt his knee.
Mm.
So that means when you look at their big guys, Anthony Davis out, Daniel Gafford out, Derek Lively out. Now, Dwight Powell also out. Like, their entire front court is hurt.
Mm. And supposedly that was the whole reason you made the trade, which, here's the thing. It was a horrible trade, and it's going to continue to be a horrible trade, you know? I mean, you can count the people shocked that Anthony Davis went down in the debut really on one hand. It's been a recurring issue for him quite a bit, and if he's going to miss an extended time, I mean, I don't know how many games are going to be in there. We got the All-Star break coming up here at some point, but the Mavs are, if they go on a losing streak, they could be flirting with even making the playoffs.
You know what makes things even worse? You start ejecting fans from the arena. There was a guy that got on like the karaoke cam who mouthed "Fire Nico." They threw him out. They kicked a group out that was holding signs that said "Fire Nico." I mean, and there's videos of these like these altercations, these exchanges on social media. Everyone's watching them. You're kicking your fans out for expressing their displeasure. They're booing. It's like, dude, it's a disaster. And then you lose the game, and Jason Kidd decides, I'm not doing a post game press conference because that's
Yeah.
professional, and that's certainly the best way to go. Like, my goodness,
How do you think, like, because Jason Kidd has been, I mean, if you believe all the reports, and I'm inclined to believe them, because why would you tell your head coach that you're about to make the worst trade in league history? Um, he's been unwillingly drug into this whole nightmare. You still got to go face the music, of course, but um, I kind of feel bad for him to some degree.
you want to know the cherry on top for the whole Mavs debacle?
Yeah, of course.
Luka had been hurt, and look who just played. Look who's back.
Looked pretty good in the debut, limited minutes.
Did
Good
not shoot the
production.
three particularly well, but the Lakers hammered a bad Jazz team. You know what I thought was a very, very good move by that organization. They just put Luka Lakers shirts. It looked like it was on every seat in the arena. Now Mavs fans just got to look at thousands of people rocking 77 Lakers jerseys. I mean, dude, this thing is an absolute disaster for those fans in that organization. Like, everyone is angry, and maybe the did you see Dirk Nowitzki went out there to see Luka
Yeah,
play his first game as a Laker?
I did.
Dirk is their guy. The dude has a statue out in front of the arena, and I don't know if he thought it would come off this way, but it kind of felt like him protesting the move. Like, hey, I'm going to go watch him. I'm going to go support him first game in LA. He tweeted about it, made sure everyone knew. I don't know, man. It felt a little calculated from Dirk.
Yeah, I can understand why Mavs fans are so upset and like kicking fans out and everything. I mean, it it does start to make it look like, a lot of people have talked about one of the reasons is they're trying to move the Mavs out to Vegas, but you know, I, who knows if that's the real reason, but the whole thing does have a deliberate feel to it. I mean, we'll see what happens, I guess.
I One positive thing for the Mavs, Kyrie Irving is the person replacing Anthony Davis in the All-Star game because he's
Hey,
hurt.
well, don't get hurt in the All-Star game, Kyrie.
Just a disaster in Dallas, man.
I mean, there's a game and a half separating Dallas from being on the outside looking in for the play-in games.
The vibes, just quick vibe check with the organization. Vibes aren't good.
Vibes bad, trending bad and trending worse.
Speaking of trending, you know how their thing is like Mavs fan for life,
Yeah.
MFFL. I saw MFFL trending on Twitter, which,
Um,
geez, their
it's
own fans are mocking like their motto. It's just, oh,
it's wild, and
and
it's only going to
us
get
Thunder
worse.
fans are sitting over here going, oh, we've got it so good, baby.
Dysfunction, dysfunction, and it's only going to get worse as the guy you traded for is going to be missing time, and I imagine with the energy that they've got and Luka probably feeling the way you would expect with the trade. I imagine the Lakers are going to be getting a lot of eyeballs on the way that they play. And I mean, they're on a little bit of a run, 9-1 out of their last 10, and they're sitting pretty good in the playoffs. They're in the number 4 spot. So, as you trend down, the Lakers are probably going to trend up, and you're going to see it's going to be front and center every single night.
Luka is going to have a game where he's like 8 of 10 from three and has 42 points on like 20 shots. And that is going to hit like a dagger in the heart for Mavs fans. It's coming. That performance for Luka in a Lakers jersey is coming. It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
And they're not going to take it well.
Just a quick scan. Dang it, they don't play each other for the rest of the season.
Oh,
That would have been. Oh, yeah, they
yeah,
do.
they do.
Yes, they do. I was on the
In
Lakers schedule
Dallas.
looking for the Lakers. Yeah, and it's actually coming up pretty quick.
Yeah.
25th.
Cannot wait.